It's time for the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. We'll be talking to Blake Sloan coming up in mere seconds. In the meantime, let me know how you can talk to Blake Sloan. It's very easy. Just get on your phone and call him at Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or you can just go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. We'll repeat that contact information several times over the next 30 minutes. In the meantime, let's get this show on the road. Here's Blake Sloan.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Got a great show. Tons of great stuff. The market is still all kind of craziness going on. News. We have the brand new market numbers from last month out, and they're very interesting to say the least. They're fresh off the press. We'll probably have the final numbers mid next week, but it's interesting to see kind of what's going on. Still been super hot. This is our 29th straight edition of the Corona edition of our real estate kind of market update. It's been crazy, down, up, back up again. And so we'll talk about that. New article that's a national article from CNBC I want to share because we're seeing something similar here. It talks about homes sold 2 weeks faster due to an unusual surge in demand. And so that really plays into what we're seeing here in Myrtle Beach with what I called last week's show, the perfect storm, right? Super low interest rates, scraping all-time lows, people moving out of the metropolitan areas due to COVID-19, also frustration with government lockdowns up north, they're moving down here. And so we've seen a lot of crazy stuff. Actually, just did an article this week that you probably should see come out this week and first next week with a local newspaper here that just talks about the same thing. We've seen people buying properties just this week even, virtually, via video, on a phone, via FaceTime, locking those properties in, get under contract before ever coming down and seeing that. And that's something that used to happen every once in a while. Now it's happening every single day. We'll talk about that. That's important as well. New home sales hit a 14-year high nationally. We'll talk about that as well. And also, the one thing I want to share some value. Obviously, I'm trying to bring as much value each weekend to you all. The easiest way to get more money for your home, this one trick adds $8,000 to $14,000 to the value of your home. It's true. And I got this from Mr. Bob Vila. Remember him? So back in the day. But that's something that's super cool there. Also, some amazing success stories. Our team has been absolutely crushing it, week after week, and over 20 again under contract. Last month, we had 12 homes under contract this past week just by Tuesday. And so it's been hot. We have seen a little bit of the real-time week-to-week numbers drop off a little bit, and I'll talk to you about that and kind of what to look for as well.
All right, sounds good. We're just getting started, just getting our toes wet. If you were just tuning in for the very first time, you've never heard Blake Sloan before and asking who this person is, he's been called a real estate whiz kid. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, Realtor magazine, and other national publications. You've seen him on TV with NBC and also with Fox and Friends with Morning Show. Personally endorsed from Sean Hannity, Glenn Beck, Barbara Corcoran, Gary LaBox, and others. Put them all together, it is unprecedented. Now, in addition to that, Blake also has trademark systems for both home sellers and home buyers to make sure that they get everything that they have coming to them. Now, he can't talk about everything on the air because, well, they're trademarked, but at the same time, he can give you the most important part of these systems.
Yes, and this has become my mission and the show and the why behind what we do here, because we just see so many horror stories, and especially in the current marketplace. Why is that? Because the pace is moving so fast. It's so easy for your agent to leave money on the table for you right now. One of the success stories this week just shows you got someone almost $20,000 more they thought they could get. And thankfully, they referred to us versus someone else. And so here's the bottom line is the single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller comes down to one thing only, period. And that thing is the agent you choose. And really, people make this huge mistake of thinking that real estate agents are the same. They're a commodity, and it could not be further from the truth. Just like any doctor, any lawyer, right? Something comes down, you're charged with a crime you did not commit. You want the absolute best. You don't want just a part-timer that just does it on the side, right? You want the absolute best, and you should also demand the same for what most people, their largest asset. And so the reason that matters so much is in selling a property, it's 118 different variables from A to Z. So if each one's handled correctly, guess what it does? Puts money in your pocket, property gets sold. If anything's handled incorrectly, aka they drop the ball or they basically guide you in the wrong way, and that could be anything in today's market, from telling you the wrong price, leaving money on the table, aka pricing it lower than you can actually get. It could be anything from the quality of the photos, the order of the photos. Do they have like when I was looking at the house yesterday, the first 9 photos were, and this is a high-end home in Grand Dunes that hadn't sold. They reduced their price again. The problem is the first 9 photos are all every single angle outside the house. No one goes through all 9 photos. They want to see the inside of the house quickly, the best rooms, right? And so all these details matter. It could be anything from, does the agent answer the phone when they call the for sale sign out there? How fast does it take them to respond to web leads? There's all these things that matter in those 118 different variables. And so what we do, well, first thing we did is identify them, right? What variables happen in what order. We create a system that's proven and repeatable that creates maximum leverage at every single point. We call that stacking the dominoes. So we have a system in place with people and processes that create an advantage at point 1, at point 2, at point 3. And you can see over time, it creates a massive gap between us and everyone else. And what that does is it gives our client a competitive advantage in the process. And so that system is called the Guaranteed Sold System. The only proven system sells twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods. And it works very, very, very well. And think about that. That's a system with people that are obviously team members, with technology and systems where the same thing happens the same way every single time, versus one single agent you see trying to juggle all the balls. And that's why most people have massive frustration in getting their home sold. You have one agent who's trying to juggle all the balls, and what happens is you get the 3 Ps. 1, they promise the world to get your listing. 2, they put it into the MLS. And 3, they pray that someone else brings a buyer. Meanwhile, they're down the street trying to get your neighbor's house to sell so they can stay alive and stay afloat in this business, right? That's a problem most people experience. And so that's what we designed that system. Like Dave mentioned, trademark. Obviously, I do license it to other agents, other parts of the country, but exclusive to us here. And so the second part of that is on the buyer side. Guess what? There's 100 plus variables on the buy side, and they're determined by the same exact thing, the agent you choose. Why is that? Well, it depends on how they execute, and especially in today's market where it's hypersensitive. It's moving fast. Properties sell within hours. Are they available to show it to you when you need it? Can they get you the data you need to make the right decision? All those things matter. And so we create a system there called the Unfair Advantage Home Buying System. Give our clients priority access to foreclosures, distress sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best negotiation in purchase price, all the way through the home inspection to get you to that closing table successfully. And so both of those are designed, like I mentioned, to do one thing only, is to give you a competitive advantage. And so in today's marketplace, and we even have people who listen to this show for weeks or months or years, and will call a part-time friend who does not have those systems in place, the technology in place. And we spend a tremendous amount of money on both employees, team members, and technology to make sure that we manage those proactive variables so it does not cost you money in the long run.
All right, sounds good. We are just getting started. Like I said, coming up in just a minute, we'll see what the market is looking like here in the Myrtle Beach area, and we'll also check out the rates and where they are, how much money that could cost you if you play with them wrongly. You don't want to do that. That's all coming up in just a minute. Stay tuned, but if you'd like to get in touch with Blake, you can. Give him a call at his office. That phone number again is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to BlakeSloan.com, BlakeSloan.com.
Hey, if you are in the market to make the most money for your home, Sean Hannity here with some important advice. Now, look, I'm an active investor. I have bought and sold a lot of properties in hot, cold, moderate markets, and one of the lessons I have learned is this: hire the agent that knows how to create the most demand for your home. Now, if I needed to create demand in this market, no question, there's only one real estate agent I trust if I needed to sell my home. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Now, he services the entire Myrtle Beach area, attracts hundreds of buyers every week, and sells a home on average every 24 hours. Now, that helps you generate multiple offers and sell your home for the most money possible. Plus, it's like getting an immediate offer on your home, because if your home doesn't sell for the price and the deadline you agree to, you will have it bought for cash, and he offers flexible fees. Find out how much demand your home can command right now. Call the agent that creates the most demand. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or online at BlakeSloan.com. That's BlakeSloan.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Myrtle Beach, I would hire Blake Sloan. His international marketing creates so much demand that if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agree to, Blake will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
find out what the interest rates are looking like in just a second and how much money that can cost you if you don't do it right. Right now, though, let's find out what the market is looking like and get an update on that. Blake, what are you seeing?
So got the brand new market numbers in from last month, and they're very, very, very good. Super hot month last month, obviously from September's numbers. The one thing we remember, if you listen to the show a while, we really covered two main things. One, what's happening behind us, aka what's the overall market numbers that come out each month. Since COVID-19 started, we really started digging into watching weekly how many properties going under contract. That's important because it helps us guide, understand what's happening in real time. Remember, it was like 600 plus a week that was going under contract in our whole MLS. Once COVID happened and the lockdowns happened, it went down to 300s per week, basically 300, 400 properties going under contract per week, got all the way back up. We saw it trend up tremendously. Last week's show, last month or so, it was in the 800s, the high 700s. We were seeing roughly about 200 million a week going under contract in our entire MLS. With all companies. And so we've been tracking that. Last week's show was 801 properties under contract the previous 7 days. This week, though, interesting, 674. And so only 674 under contract. You kind of see that shift, right? We'd be coming to that shoulder season. The window's closing a little bit. 182 million. $399,567 under contract in the last 7 days. And so about 10 of those $1 million or plus. And what that means is slightly less, right? 801 versus 674 in a 1 week period. And so we have seen a slight slowdown of just the pace of what's happening. It's been chaos for the past few months, especially through September. And so it's interesting to watch because we're guiding our clients, right? I want to know what's happening in real time. Sometimes it can hurt you making decisions based on data from 30 days ago versus right now real time. And so we use that and dial in. But so great news if you're looking at the rear view mirror, so to speak. Last month's numbers, so how September fared overall in the overall marketplace for single families, resale homes, massive jump, one of the biggest ones I've seen. Sales last month up 31.6% from the same month last year, and so huge jump. My team, myself, we've all been running ragged like crazy, burning the candle at both ends because it's been chaotic. We talked about that perfect storm, right? Interest rates scraping all-time lows. We have people moving in from up north who are just very, very just angry about the government lockdowns, fearful of COVID-19 and the high densely populated metropolitan areas. And so we see them moving down here. They're working remotely. People who are retiring 3 to 4 or 5 years out, retiring now. And so we've seen a huge rush in the past few months, and it really goes into account last month for sure. So single-family resale homes, sales up 31.6%, 658, which is interesting, obviously to look at, where if you go last year, there was only 500 sales in September 2019. Now, sales price up 12%, which is awesome. Basically, kind of a high there for median in a very long time, 270,000 right now for the median sales price in our MLS. You look at average numbers, up 17%. Huge jumps. You got 30% increase plus in sales, a 17% increase in the amount of values on the average sale price. That's a lot of extra equity for a lot of sellers, right? Right now, 347, 669. I think that might be an all-time high that we've seen here, even I guess going over the 2006, 5, 6, 7 market as well. So up 17%, which is awesome. Now, one of the craziest things we've seen has to do with inventory. We just set a new record with inventory this month. The lowest I've seen it since we've been tracking it is 2.6 months. What's that mean? Is that it's nuts. So it's a 50% decrease. And so if you want to see what's happening, I'll talk about perfect storm, a 30% plus increase in sales, right? 17% increase in price. And what's driving that is the amount of homes on the market. And this really is a crisis for us here because a healthy market's usually between 4 and 6 months inventory, right? Anything that's below 6 months is what they call a seller's market. Anything above 6 months is a buyer's market. What does the month thing mean? Well, that means if there's hypothetically not one single new listing put on the market, at the current pace, it would take 2.6 months to sell out everything, right? And so that's crazy. Looking at it's a 50% drop from the same month last year. And so what does that mean? We need inventory. It's an inventory crisis. It's a great time for anyone to be able to take advantage of that. If you're a home seller, why is that? There's massive amounts of buyers who are motivated, who are coming in town, and there's not much competition, and you can see the pressure is on price. We've seen probably those prices would be higher if it wasn't for appraisals that are limiting a lot of that because there just hasn't been data in the rearview mirror to justify some of the prices. So you're seeing that being brought back down, which is great because it kind of keeps the market healthy as well. So great news there overall in that aspect. And so that's one thing. If you look at the amount of showings, per listing, They're up 63.4% last month. So this is crazy. So if you look at the same data in September of 2019 versus September 2020, showings the amount of people looking at homes was up 63.4%. And so crazy numbers there. We're seeing, I do think we'll see that level out a little bit. People tend to get that, we call it holiday brain starting soon, where every person we talk to on the buyer side is like, first of the year, wait to the first of the year. And so we usually see that between Thanksgiving and the first. Although I will say, we talked about this with my team this week, some of the biggest months we've had in history have been December. A lot of people got to get deals done by the end of the year. They're moving by the end of the year. There's tax, incentives based for people doing that. And so you will see a lot of stuff. It's a different buyer type. We've seen a lot of people who have kids, who have had kids, they went back to school, even virtual school, are not in town buying what we call the shoulder seasons. Usually you've seen a little more people, a little more established. They can come in more flexible. And so there's another wave of buyers coming in now. So great news. The single family market, huge. You just heard about that. 30+% increase in the amount of sales, 17% increase in price, and a 50% drop in the amount of properties for sale. You can probably see my problem. Anyone you talk to, friend, relative, aunt, uncle, say, look, here's the deal. You can probably get a lot more money for your property than you think you can, and you need to call Blake Sloan, because we have massive amounts of buyers that we're trying to find properties for right now, and you can kind of see what's happened in that regard. Looking at new construction, it's been great. The data here is not exactly fully accurate because a lot of the big national home builders just don't report to MLS, so I'll kind of give you the overall breakdown in prices. Prices, actually, new construction only up 1.6% last month, 286,324. The months of supply, though, also down. That's what I was trying to get to, is down 28% at 3.6 months of inventory. And so what's the hottest part of the market right now is definitely resale homes that are obviously single family in that aspect. And so into condos and townhomes, closed sales last month up 20%, which is awesome news. 539 condo sales for resale condos in our MLS last month alone. Prices, check this out. Average price for condos last month up 22%. So huge jump there. They actually are outpacing homes last month. We have not seen that for a while. Condos were lagging a little bit behind. For example, we were selling homes within a couple hours. Sometimes condos would take a little bit longer, but we're seeing that catch up now as sales have skyrocketed again. The average price up 22% last month alone. Condo inventory also down 16%. Also kind of in crisis mode, only 4.2 months of inventory in condos. And so, again, they've been playing catch up since the COVID lockdown happened. And we couldn't literally get people into condos to see them because the front desk had the buildings locked down. So awesome news there overall. The same thing you look in there, showings for condos up 38.9%. And so this is only the first couple of days of the month. Usually, if you remember previous shows, this is real-time data. So it's still waiting a lot of agents to put deals in that may have closed last week or so. And so I do foresee these numbers getting a little bit higher, a little bit better for next week's show. But I wanted just to get you all the data in real time. So what's it mean overall? We're super hot right now. I do think we'll see it cool off just a slight amount, going into the winter months here. But still, if you're thinking about selling, there's no telling what's going to happen in next year, right? With interest rates, people settling in, with COVID, with the presidency, all this stuff. And so if I'm a seller, what I'm thinking right now is, how do I strike while the iron's hot, right? How do I strike while things are super hot, while there's many buyers coming in town? And that's one thing I shared with my team. I said, look, here's the deal. People are moving right now because there's pain. There's pain back where they're at, either frustration with the government or obviously fear of COVID-19 in metropolitan areas. They're making decisions earlier. And so there will be a point where a lot of those have already moved, and you're going to see that window close a little bit. And so if you're a seller, think about that. Strike while the iron's hot. If you want to know more about it, we're finding that certain neighborhoods are getting a whole lot more money than other neighborhoods. And we found a lot of people are leaving money on the table by underpricing your property. Don't be that person. Reach out and get a professional, analysis, because we're so deep in this, selling, I said, 20 plus properties under contract in a 7-day period. We have a very, very, very good handle on what's happening. Most agents are MLS sell basically about 4 homes a year. And so it's very tough to have a true gauge on the pace and what's going on if they're not heavily involved in that. So reach out, call me, 843-808 sold for sure. One thing that's driving these has been interest rates, scraping all-time lows. Last week's show was 3.02%. Right now, we're pretty close. It's been going back and forth. We're at 3.04%. Earlier this week, though, is at 2.98. And so it's been teeter-tottering, right, and that back and forth. And so it's still super low. We've seen a lot of challenges in both appraisals, being backed up, not number wise, but sometimes deals are taking a little bit longer to close. So what you could usually get done 30 days is taking 45 to 60 because everyone's so backed up. Because also you got to think about a lot of people are doing refinances right now with interest rates being so low, which also require a appraisal and a closing. And so that's one thing that we're seeing here. A lot of people still move. 15-year fixed rate right now, 2.62%, which is crazy low. The FHA loan, this is still what kind of blows me away, a 2.38% right now for an FHA loan, which is as little as 3% down. A jumbo loan, 3.38%, and a 5-year adjust rate mortgage right now, 2.77%. And so bottom line is interest rates still super low. We have a massive amounts of buyers coming in town. Also, our team this week had a couple from up north, missed out on multiple properties. He went immediately, they found one they liked in the same building, went, did a video tour, locked it up, coming in town 2 days to actually see it, but they wrote the offer before ever even seeing it. We're seeing a lot of that right now, and the bottom line is you can see the problem with sales massively up, inventory down 50%. We need homes to sell. And so anyone you know, friends, relatives, anybody think about selling, reach out, call me. You can probably get more money than you think you can, 843-808-SOLD.
In just a second, we have your hot buyers alert, and we'll be looking at what's going on as far as some of the great success stories. Hopefully, we don't have too many horror stories, but we might from time to time. The success stories on the list, whatever else we fit in, it's all coming up in a second. Get in touch with Blake at his office at Sloan Realty Group. Call 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to BlakeSloan.com, BlakeSloan.com.
Hey, Myrtle Beach, it's Gary LaVox, lead singer.
How are we looking on time? Like 22 in or something?
When I'm moving on, won the award for ACM Song of the Year. It struck a chord with folks who understand the challenges that come with life's big changes.
All right, cool. We'll just do hot buyers and success stories.
It's time to sell their home. If you're moving on, you want a real estate agent who will make selling your home easy and stress-free. An agent who's willing to let you out of the contract if you're not happy with their service.
That's why in Myrtle Beach, I can tell you that Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group markets your home on a whole different level. Now listen, Blake is so confident in his ability to sell your home quickly and for more money that he guarantees to sell it or he'll buy it himself. If you're moving on, trust Blake to provide your family a stress-free home sale experience. Find Blake Sloan online at BlakeSloan.com, or you can call him at 843-808-SOLD. Start packing.
It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show along with Blake Sloan. Coming up in just a second, some success stories about what's going on. But want to let you know that Blake and his team working with ridiculous amount of home buyers, and they're looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area. You just heard a second ago that inventory is like almost non-existent. So if you're even thinking of selling and you're in the range anywhere from $150,000 to $3.5 million on your home, call Blake immediately at 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, 58,812. That's the number of people who are currently online with Blake's website looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area. There are a lot of eyes looking, and they're looking for your home.
Yes, and like Dave mentioned, these are separate people, 58,000 plus separate people. Those are username, password, account. They log in. And so they're from all over. And people ask me a lot of times, like, hey, look, what makes you different than anybody else? And the reality is we outspend the average agent 100 to 1 from a marketing standpoint. We spend massive amounts of money online driving traffic on the buyer side for buyers to come in. All across the United States and even internationally. And so that's a tool we have where I'm already marketing for buyers before you ever call me to sell your property versus waiting until that starts to start the ball rolling. And so it gives our client a huge advantage. If you remember back when the COVID-19 started, I said, look, I'm not pulling my foot off the pedal. We have massive amounts of buyers. And now our struggle is we have 50% less homes to sell with a lot more buyers. And so you can see my challenge. But like right now, these are real people. George Brookman Sr., he's from Fredericksburg, Virginia. He just came on the site, been here 7 visits, 25 properties, looking to buy down here as well. We have Victoria Bracken. She's from Crystal Lake, Illinois. She came from our online buyer pay traffic where I spend money for pay-per-click, right? I've been here a lot. She got 72 favorites right now that she's looking at. I also got Bruce Kreutzer from Winter Garden, Florida. Came from our traffic there. Look, his average sale price, $415,000, 83 visits, and we got all over. I got Alan Tong from Myrtle Beach here. I got Lori Smith from New York. I got Deborah from Lexington, North Carolina. The reality is these are real people. Why did I read this off to you? Because like these are real people. Anybody that sits down with us, we show them, and you can see real time who's searching, where they're going, what they're doing, and it blows everyone's mind. Even people that are real estate agents from other areas, we sit down and show them what we do, and it blows their mind. And so If you know anyone, the reason we share this is we need inventory. These are real people, real buyers, and we're 50% less homes for sale. And so I need anyone listening to the show, be an advocate. Put my number in your phone, 843-808-SOLD. Give it to your friends, relatives. Drag them down to the office if you have to, because it's an amazing opportunity right now. Price is up 17%, inventory down 50%. That's a great opportunity for anyone thinking about selling. Or also, if you had your house in the market 1 year, 2 years ago, now's the time to strike, like I said, while that iron's hot. And so super proud of my team. I know we got a couple minutes left, right? I want to get to a couple success stories. Our team's been absolutely crushing it. Here's the one that's awesome. Samantha, she's been trying to sell her house in Market Common for over 6 months when the average real estate agent had no luck. Only empty promises, massive frustration. She had recently bought a new home, need to sell hers still. The cool part is we just sold her neighbor's home. Her neighbor referred it to us at Sloan Realty Group. We came in, identified the problem, it was marketing exposure, designed Samantha a custom plan, launched our Globe Marketing Blitz, professional photos, virtual reality tour, drove massive traffic. Just under a couple of weeks, had her offer for 98% of asking price. Now she's able to move on with maximum equity. Another cool story, I was personally involved in this one. Mary and Bobby, they had a second home in Little River. They called me actually from West Virginia, and they just didn't use it anymore, wanted to sell. They referred to us by someone else I sold something to. Here's the thing. When she called, she wanted to get $160,000 for the property. And I started, okay, I'll look it up. I'm like, man, we can get you easily in the 180s. And she was ecstatic, but at the same time didn't necessarily believe it. I sent the comps to breakdown. We listed it there, designed custom marketing plan, launched a Globe Marketing Blitz, had massive traffic, had it under contract just a few weeks, almost $20,000 more than she thought she could initially get. And here's the thing. If she wouldn't have called us, right, the reality is she could have gone with someone else who just took that information, put on the market at 160. And here's the thing. There wasn't necessarily comps and data that said we get that yet. I just had a feel based on how fast things are moving that we get that done there. And so awesome thing there. Two quick things on our buy side. And this is just a testament to our buyer team. Matt, one of our buyer experts, he had a client named Kelly, and she'd been working with him since January. She was not able to get qualified initially because some debt to income stuff. Helped her get that figured out. Just put her under contract for her dream property, only 5 minutes to the beach, everything approved, ready to go. And now she's going to be owning for less than it cost her to rent before, which is super cool. And this is an example too with Austin on our team. Victoria and Cesar, been looking for investment condo, ocean view for several months. It was so hot they kept getting beat out over and over. They found the right one. He went over there, did an instant video tour, found the condo. They had under contract 24 hours. And beat everyone else to it. And so bottom line is you need experience right now. You need training right now because the market is so hot, in a way chaotic. Make sure you don't leave money on the table. That's the one thing. You've talked to your friends at virtual or an outing or whatever it is. Say, look, here's the deal. Don't leave money on the table. Reach out and call Blake Sloan, 843-808-SOLD for sure.
And in the last 30 seconds, you still need people to help.
Yes, we still need people on the team because obviously we have massive amounts of people from all over the country. We're looking for A players. If you're a hustler, if you want to give a high level of service to your clients and are committed to what you do, reach out to me. We're always growing, looking to do that. And you can call the office or just Google us and go right to our website as well.
All right, sounds good. If you have any questions, like I said, give him a call at his office, Sloan Realty Group. Remember, you're looking at the right place, Sloan Realty Group. Look for that, Google it, and you'll find it. If you just want to call, it's 843-808-SOLD. That's kind of easy to remember
Yes.
as well. 843-808-SOLD. You can go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com to find out more information and get it all right because you want to get in touch with him. Blake, thanks for everything. We'll see you again next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, it is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Selling your home doesn't have to be filled with drama or having to pay hidden fees. Hey, your friend Sean Hannity here to tell you, as an active investor, I firmly believe in working with the smartest local agents who sell homes in high volume